All right. It's time for another assignment walkthrough. I had a number of people asking for more options for the hate you give. So, as you can see by the title, you asked for it, taking a closer look at vocabulary for the hate you give. So, our project overview, similar to how we created sketchbook dictionaries earlier in the year, I want you to make it memorable for yourself. And as you can see, when you sketchnote, you have more tools available to help you make connections with the ideas or words that you're trying to remember. Sketchnoting actually makes the information or vocabulary terms more memorable for you as you engage your critical thinking abilities to decide how to represent it. That's a whole bunch of teacher talk for what I want you to do is find out what the word means and then think of some sort of visual representation to help remind you what that word means. So if we were talking about the word brawl, meaning a fight or a large, a large battle between people, you may think that a fist would be enough to show you what a brawl meant. Some people might think a play on the word would be something else, but whatever graphic helps you is what we're looking for. So for this project, you'll read the passage from the story and pay attention to the underlined vocabulary word. Using the context clues, that means the words around the vocabulary term, infer what you think the word means and record your definition. And remember, infer is our fancy word for guess or determine what the word means by looking at the clues around it. So this using context clues means read the other words around what you're trying to define to make a guess of what the word means. Then look up the word, provide the dictionary definition, and include a graphic, which is a picture, a symbol, an image. If you want to do a little drawing or a doodle, something to represent the definition and further demonstrate your understanding. And just a reminder, you can also use these tools to help make it even more exciting for you. If you want different colors, if you want to add arrows, connectors, all those kinds of things can take it to the next step. All right, that's our first step. Oh, we're getting comments on our deer review already. So that's something exciting too. But let's get into the actual module where it goes through step by step. Again, reminds us what sketchnoting is, even gives us our familiar graphic of what sketchnotes look like, using ideas to simplify more complicated ideas, create visual metaphors. All of these things help understanding new words. So, for the hate you give, I want you again, we'll read the passage, check out the underlined word, see if we can look at the context clues to guess what it means on our own, write out our dictionary definition, and include a graphic. A lot of people did this as a keynote in the first couple weeks of school, but if you would like to use just Google Docs or Pages, if you want to make a little video, maybe you want to use an object as your graphic, that can work as well. Whatever works for you, as long as you're showing me that you understand the keywords. So when we look at the first one, it says, well, I ain't babysitting you all night, so you better do something, Kenya says, and scopes the room. So we read the sentence to figure out what's going on. Someone's clearly frustrated because they're giving an order, so you better do something, and then scopes the room. Some of you may have an idea already, which is great. Some of you may think, scope, isn't that something you wash your mouth out with? But some of you might also think, that sounds like microscope. Those are all good clues to help you realize that the word scope has something to do with looking closely at something. You're looking around to see if there's anyone else you know. So we used context clues to come up with our own definition. Scope reminded me of microscope. Microscopes are used to look at things. Scoping the room means looking around the room. That would be your definition. Now you're going to go to the dictionary, write down exactly what the dictionary says for the definition of scope, and then you're going to include a graphic. You may just have someone, like I'm doing here, have your hand to your face like you're looking around the room, or maybe you have a picture of glasses or a microscope, whatever works for you to help you understand that word. Then we go on to the next one. Hands on the dashboard, the officer barks at me. Don't move. The word we're trying to define is underlined, so barks. Right away you're thinking, barks something a dog does. Yes, it does. It's what they do when they're excited or angry or defending something, right? So they get loud. So in this case, hands on the dashboard, the officer barks at me. It's another way of maybe saying that the officer shouted at me or scared me, those called out loudly, whatever you think bark might mean. And again, you write your definition, go back to the dictionary, look up the dictionary definition, copy that down, and then you include your graphic. Maybe you've got a picture of a dog barking. Maybe you've got a picture of tree bark, whatever helps. Maybe you've got the megaphone because it's implying that someone's speaking loudly. All right. Then you'll do that for each of the other underlying words. Underlined words. Similar to our earlier expectations in the year, there are 40 words altogether. So you'll be doing 40 definitions and 40 pictures. So keep that in mind when you're doing your Google Slide or your Keynote or whichever document you use. But that is to get the module strands. And remember, speaking of strands, if you see a strand that you already have or a grade that's different than yours, know that I continue to be able to change those. Once you submit your work, when I write your award letter, if you are in 11th grade, I can adjust those strands for you. If you already have the informative writing, I'll be able to change it to explanatory writing. So don't get worried about the strands. Focus on doing quality work and you'll be rewarded for your efforts. The final product, we'll just click that on and let that load up. This is where you get to tap into your creativity once again. Using the Sketchnote study guide that you've created for the lab project, you're going to reduce it to selecting 25 words to use in a one-page creative writing sample. You can choose what style, like it says, the style of writing is up to you. However, you must use classroom-appropriate language and incorporate at least 25 of the vocabulary terms. You can choose to write a short story. Maybe you want to write an alternate ending to the book. Maybe you'd like to add an extra chapter. Maybe you want to write a poem, a police report, a news report, a diary entry. Those of you that like to rap, write me a rap or a song. Maybe you want to write a speech or a style of your own creation. Again, use 25 or more. If you want to use more of the words, use more. But at least 25 of the words, that's going to help you get to about a page for your final product. And that ultimately, because it is a final product, you have to take advantage of the editing and revising processes to ensure top quality error-free work. I feel like I'm a robot every time I say that. But make sure once you get to the final product, you've done the editing and revising. All right, so short, sweet, quick, easy project for you. I hope to see more of you getting that credit. Don't hesitate to reach out with any other questions, but you know what? You have the power to do this, guys. Direct your learning. It's your pace, but ultimately get it in so we can get you some credit. All right, have a great day. We will see you again soon. If I can stop. Will it stop? I don't know. Did I even tape it? Oh, it looks like it taped. All right, we got it. Take care, guys.